Bioenergy has been met with some criticism and negative perceptions within the net zero conversation. Ecotec Services and Justsen Energy Technique have taken this challenge on by working in partnership to educate and to help bioenergy be seen as a viable option for reusable and sustainable energy for the future. We went to investigate.
From heating our homes to powering industry, the need to find stable and sustainable forms of energy has never been greater. And for many countries, the largest source of renewable energy is not the sun or the wind, but biomass. It's something that Danish company Justsen has been looking at since 1959, creating advanced biomass boilers that burn organic material to create fuel.
We are 62 years old, so nothing was called biomass 62 years ago. It was called wood waste. So our company came up from working with the woodworking industry. And then back in the 80s, when you started talking about bioenergy as a fuel source, then we started making plans for virgin biomass such as wood chips, straw, miscanthus, willow, those kind of things, and use that for heating.
The boilers can produce up to 30 megawatts of power, enough to heat up to 20,000 homes. And key to the growth of the business is forming long-term technical partnerships with turnkey contractors around the world.
We know how to use biomass as a fuel. What is difficult for a company like us is to master the other discipline, actually making the turnkey projects all over the world in the market. If we were doing that from Denmark, then we would be too expensive in the market. We wouldn't really utilize the resources that are found locally.
Enter Mike Wall and his company Ecotec, based in the UK and working with Justsen for 5 years.
We design, supply and install biomass boilers and waste-to-energy incinerators. That would mean we would find a site, we would go to that site, we would produce a design for a plant, we would then apply for planning permission, we would then build the plant and get it to the point that it could be operated.
Ecotec has completed 25 major projects in the UK, but despite their vast experience, there are a number of barriers preventing growth.
The biggest challenge is planning permission, there's no doubt about that. And with the attitude of not in my backyard by the general public and the lack of support from the government to get this kind of equipment out on site and in operation, that's our biggest hurdle, and that's the biggest block to business at the moment.
And one of the blocks is caused by concerns about carbon emissions. Whilst biomass is carbon neutral, UK government research has shown that greenhouse gas emissions per unit of electricity generated from biomass can be lower or higher than those of fossil fuels, depending on the type of biomass burnt and where it comes from. But Ecotec and Justsen say the sector can be sustainable.
There is a block to how people perceive what we do. Certainly when you term something as incineration, it has a different meaning in the general public's mind to a biomass boiler. In effect, it is a biomass boiler burning waste wood generating electricity, and that should give the UK long-term sustainability and security of energy supply instead of importing natural gas.
The main advantage of using biomass over solar and wind is that if you are a processing industry and you have a quite big energy need, then you can use the fuel exactly when you need it. So let's say that you are a concentrate plant and you need high pressure steam. Then you operate that steam boiler according to the steam demand from the factory. So that is one of the big uses these years on biomass. That is for process industry.
With the UK and Europe aiming to be carbon neutral by 2050, Ecotec and Justsen believe biomass can play a central and sustainable role to help achieve this ambitious target.